What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Formerss Friday. It's been a while, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Formerss Prime Beast Hunters Voyager Shockwave with his Hyperflux Cannon and his Beast Armor. But first, we're going to take a look at the directions. Now, we have continued Tales of the Beast Hunters, Chapter 11, continued from Chapter 10, Deluxe Smokescreen. You see Shockwave there. We can see his Hyperflux Cannon. Says spinning panels gather ambient cosmic energy to power blast. Missiles create miniature black holes on impact, totally destroying any target. An energy collecting vortex also creates a heat shield around Shockwave that deflects incoming fire. Ooh, ah. And onto the bio, or the rest of the story, I should say. It says, with Megatron gone missing, Shockwave makes the decision to end his Predacon cloning army. A force of Predacons united under Predaking could spell doom for the Decepticons, as well as the Autobots. He's in the middle of shutting down his Hyper-Evolution laboratory when he spots an Autobot spy hiding in the shadow among the still occupied chambers. A plan forms in his precise and brilliant mind. Destroy the Autobot and the lab, and lay the blame for the annihilation of the cloning program at the feet of Optimus Prime and his soldiers. Such an event would drive Predaking into a rage that would doubtless utterly consume the Autobots in its fury. Continued in Chapter 12, Deluxe Skystalker. I'm not entirely too certain whether I'm picking that up yet with the rest of the wave, such as Ratchet and Dreadwing, after what I've seen in looks. But you can see here, you can see Shockwave there, and you can see Smokescreen right there on his screen in his laboratory. So that's pretty cool. And I like the directions. They're very, very well put together. There was only one thing, I think, about these I didn't like. And that was, I don't know, it was some kind of twist or turn they made me do that I didn't actually have to do till later. There's no point in doing it. But regardless, that's that. Directions are very nice, and I love how we're getting a little story here. And also, if you wanted a quick look at his packaging, he was in here packaged in robot mode. You can see him there in his tank mode, spinning Hyperflux Cannon. See Predaking come over here. Well, actually, you probably can't see this. There we go. There's Shockwave with all nice artwork there. You can see all his stats, all extremely high, except his speed is a 3, is very slow. And it says Shockwave. The cunning and brutal Decepticon scientist Shockwave plans to clone an unstoppable Predacon army. Come over here, and you see the same picture again, just more blown up now. He's a third figure of this series. He's a Voyager. Come on to the back, and you can see him in the Cybertronic tank mode, his robot mode with the armor bits attached, spinning Hyperflux Cannon and Snap-on Beast Armor. And that is that. Behind a Shockwave here. This is one awesome looking Shockwave. I mean, it's so nice that we actually got a Shockwave. I had doubts sometimes that we weren't going to get one. And this is another case where, just like we did with Smokescreen, we said, you know, what's going to happen? You know, they're going to give him Beast Hunter armor, and maybe he'll come out in Beast Hunters, or maybe we'll only be stuck with the Takara Tomy version. We never, ever got a Shockwave for Prime so far. And I'm so glad that they stuck with the same concept with Smokescreen, where okay, we can stick with the Beast Hunters kind of armor here and still give them a proper Shockwave. Now, he does have his faults that I will get to very shortly. But, I mean, just look at this guy. He looks absolutely awesome. The one thing I love is that he can take the treads from his one tank wheel and have it come out and attach to his gun for, like, unlimited ammunition. That is one thing that I find very cool. He does have a lot of soft rubber on him, though. Like up here on his head. Right here, I mean, it's a little bit stiffer than the rest of the body, but it's definitely rubber right there as well. Over here in his gun, you got 2 soft pieces of rubber. The treads for the wheels here, rubber. Let's see, anywhere else? We got any? Not that I can see so far. Maybe there's more. Oh, right here. These little spiky things that come out in the tank mode, or robot mode, whichever you choose. Those are soft rubber as well. Nothing to really complain about, but it's definitely there. And I don't know what the whole thing is as to where, oh, I guess they can't choke on rubber. It's a safety hazard for kids instead of being a nice, you know, hard plastic. But anyways, he has his little button here, which as you can see, you press it, and it spins. And all it's doing is opening up and showing that missile in there. And this is something I love, because with a ton of figures, for instance, Optimus Prime Beast Hunter's guns here, you always have the missile sticking out. Instead, what they could have done is shorten this a whole lot, maybe only make it that long, and just have that be the part of it, and get rid of all this decorative part back here, and then you wouldn't have anything sticking out of the back, and then you would have the missile completely in there. Now, this is not a deployable missile in here, but it serves as it, kind of looking like it's shooting, but it also conveys it and makes it look so much better in there. So now you can just press this, and I've heard people complain about this. I really like this. I really like that I don't have to worry about losing another missile. Now, on random, obviously, you'll get it to land perfectly back, but you can just turn it, and you're not going to cause any damage. And if you're curious what goes on top, this gray section or the purple section, it's the purple section, because you can see if you line this up like this, it's not really going to line up properly once you even it out. When you turn it like this, you can see the gray paint job continues evenly and perfectly like so. So there's that. With his articulation, his head is on a swivel, it feels like. And it can go completely 360. And the main purpose for that, I think, came down to the transformation, so you can hide a little bit better. The arms here are not on ball joints. It feels like swivels, I'm going to say. So that goes 360. He can go out and in, swivel at the elbow, well, right above the elbow. He can bend at the elbow forwards. And the hands are on ball joints. We can curl in like so. But they do rotate. They are very stiff. Why they rotate, I don't know, because that's kind of like a weird gesture right there for his hand. I don't know why you would want it posed in a different kind of way. I mean, I guess maybe you want to turn a little bit. So I guess that is nice. No waist articulation at all. The legs here are very articulated, except for his feet. So you can get a swivel here right at the hip joint, or right below the hip joint. You can go out, and they're on very loose, like, ratchet joints. Go forward and back. Now, here's a problem with it. Because his feet aren't articulated, and he can bend at the knee on a ratchet joint, back and forwards. But because his feet aren't articulated, I mean, I guess you could bend it forward like that. That's really because of transformation. But because they can't really turn sideways, when you pop these out, now he's just kind of standing like this. It's really awkward. And his feet are just not completely touching the ground. I don't know. That really kind of sucks for this guy because he's such an awesome looking figure. You could bend him at the knee, but you'd have to turn the feet to make him flat, you know, and then you gotta turn his head, and his head doesn't look up, so you're kind of stuck with that. And then you have to angle the gun up here. It's just, the whole, look at him, he's wobbling. It's just, yeah, I guess you could shelf it like that, but it's really unfortunate that he doesn't have more stability from bending at the legs. With the gun here, this is a point of articulation I kind of skipped, I suppose. But again, he can go out and in. He can rotate at a swivel up here above the elbow. Now, I'm not going to do it completely because he's got the rubber piece plugged in here, but that can rotate fully around, and he can bend the elbow forwards just like that, or he can go all the way back pretty much. So that's that for the rest of his articulation now. But I'm going to straighten them all out here, and we're going to get his beast armor on him, which, it's not great. I think it looks cool on him. It kind of reminds me as if like a symbiote took control of Shockwave in a sense, even though that has nothing really to do with Transformers. But regardless, it does give a nice little aspect to him. Now, if you haven't noticed it already, there's two little slots in his chest here, which, by the way, is decorated very nice, and he has very excellent light piping. I hope you can see this because it's really, really nice. But anyways, you just got two tabs right inside this little rubber chest here, and you just want to slot that right in, like so. If I could get it, I don't know why this one's not. There we go. Pop that one in. And then up here on the shoulders, there's two little holes in them. And you can see the peg on these little claws here. And these are all, you know, of rubber as well. But they're still kind of pointy too. And these are spring-loaded. Why they are, I have no idea. I guess that way you could push it up. And then when you bring it down, you don't have to worry about it staying. So, and also, it makes it easier. Because if you lift that up, this is probably the main reason, to slot them in. You know, because now you have the option, instead of just being stuck down here and, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know why they're like that. That just seemed kind of logical at first, and then once I said it, it sounded kind of stupid. But anyways, you just pop these right in here, best you can. And there you go. Here we have him with his beastly armor, which isn't terrible. Honestly, I don't mind it too much. I think I prefer it without the shoulder bits. I like it with just the chest, But overall, I'm going to say I definitely like the original look to Shockwave without these. Absolutely. And then he's got a peg there as well. So you could take this and you can just slot that right in and put it over his forearm if you wanted to do that. Obviously, these can be rotated. So if you wanted them the other way, you could do that as well. And the same thing with this. You can rotate it like so. Or if you want to just be weird, I guess you could slot this in his hand. Now he's got a I don't even know what to say about that. But yeah, those are your options. Over here you see a lot of screw holes, so you can't really, I guess, put the beast armor anywhere on this. No, not at all. So those are your options. Now, I'll take this all off because, like I said, I prefer to have Shockwave just like this. Very cool looking. And people have said that he's downsized from his original look in the show. I mean, I can kind of see that, but when you compare him to other figures, he really just looks nice and bulky compared to them, and I like it. I think they did a really nice job with this guy. You know, you got little accents up here on his shoulders. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, I put that in his hand just to show you he can hold other Prime figure weapons. Here's a missile from Beast Hunter Prime's gun. But yeah, let's do some comparisons. Here we have Beast Hunter Shockwave, and then we have Beast Hunter's Voyager Optimus Prime. Now, it's really not coming off on camera, but he's definitely a bulkier figure than Optimus. He definitely has more mass to him, and he's definitely just looks bulkier in his forearms and everywhere else, especially in his head. He's got a huge head sculpt here. And then you can see him here next to the Beast Hunters Deluxe smokescreen. And then last but not least, presenting his first clone of the Predacons, Predaking. Now for transformation, we're going to come over here, rotate his head completely around, 360, come back here. You can untab this from there, lift this up, you can come under here, and these will actually separate. They will, you know, you can get this out of your way to get into here. So you want to lift that up, and this is probably going to be kind of hard to see. But what you're going to want to do is, there's a little hole right here, which his tank wheel is going to slot into, and then you want to bring this through here, and these little kind of tab pieces right here that went into his gun back there, you want to slot into a little gap in there, and that'll hold it into place nice and tight. So you bring this all the way around, and then you want to just slot it in there, just like this. And there you go. And now that's all set and ready to go for his tank mode. You know, and you can lift these little spike things up right there, come over here, and then here's where it gets weird. You want to open up these arms, bring these legs out, and turn them to the side like so. Just like that, so you can see the kind of gaps in the plastic behind his legs. Then you want to rotate this forward like that, slide the foot down, and then you want to slide it forward. Now when sliding it forward, you're not going to, rip it off. What the problem is when you're sliding it back onto there, which I'll show when we get into robot mode, you can pop the whole foot off. But you just want to slide that forward and make sure it's like that. Same over here. Bring that forward, flip the foot down, and you want to slide that completely back like so. Now what's going to lock this all into place for you is going to be the chest. So you're going to want to untab that, and you're going to see that whole gear come down here, and you're going to see tabs behind his chest, which are going to slot right into here. Which you just slot that right in. Okay, now once you slot that in, that'll hold the legs all together, and you can obviously rotate these to just get them perfect on those wheels there, because he does have two wheels that roll right under his feet. So there's that. Next you want to come over here, and right behind where his chest was, well, you can bring the arm back first. Bring that completely back. And I might add, that's not very secure as well either. So you want to rotate the arm back, bring it back here, rotate him at the elbow, and you're going to see a tab on his back that will tab into his forearm. Slot that in. It's not going to stay too securely, and if you push too hard, as you can see, it'll pop out of his shoulder there, which there's no pin on it. It just kind of sits there. As well as his hand here, you just kind of have to, I guess, let it tuck in here or something. It's just going to lay there. It's really not going to go anywhere for you, so that's that. Pop that in. Make sure that's all in there. Come over here, and you want to separate this. This was behind his chest, and you want to just lay those down like so. Bring the gun up, and now there's going to be a giant hole right here under his gun that will tab into the tab right where his chest was. Just bring the gun up, bring it around, and then you just want to tab the gun in like so. And if I will recommend anything, during this transformation, put these up, I popped this arm off 5 times trying to peg that in. So hold your finger here over this little black spot because that's where it pops out every single time. So rotate that, separate back here on the treads, and these, they didn't really say much to do with them. They don't tab anywhere or do anything. So you can just kind of, I guess, put them like this. I guess that works. And then, like I said, fix his gun up. There we go. That fell off again. And now we have Shockwave in his Cybertronian tank mode, which I have to 100% admit, that is an annoying and long transformation. I mean, it's not incredibly long. When I say it's long, I mean it's longer than what a usual transformation takes for Deluxe or Voyager figure. That was just... I can't believe how many times I popped off each one of his arms. And I still don't understand this. I mean, over here, I guess you can kind of say this is kind of like ammo will shoot out every time he fires or something. Like use exposed shells, I guess. But yeah, he's not bad looking. Just the process getting him to that point is quite a pain. Now, he does kind of have the Transformers Prime Megatron syndrome, where he folds up. That's all he did. He folded up a bunch of different ways, and this is what we're calling his tank mode. You know, you can clearly see his hand down there. These are his legs, which look like giant claws now that he's driving around with. He doesn't look terrible, but it's just funky looking. I don't completely get it. And he's got his head back here, which you can see, and then you got all this space right here, and then this all filled up with his other arm. Almost as if I feel like this arm should be up here instead of down below. And these are kind of loose here too. I don't know what that's about. And you can push them together if you like. If you want them a bit more stable towards the tank mode. Me personally, that's how they are in the robot mode. So I like to open them up for the tank mode. Now he is a pretty big size tank. And just for comparison, here's Shockwave in his tank mode. And there's Beast Hunter's Deluxe Wheeljack. And you can see here, major length difference. Now I do understand this is a Voyager and this is a Deluxe, so obviously there's going to be size differences. But if you're still not convinced, then I'll take Wheeljack out of here and I'll bring in Voyager Beast Hunter's Optimus Prime. And you can see here, Shockwave is still much longer and taller than him. He's just a really big size tank. Now, I like the Cybertronian aspect of it. I like the nice bulky size of it. And the fact of him having the same kind of issues that Megatron had, as to where he just folded up a bunch of different ways and he formed a Cybertronian shuttle, I think overall Megatron's was actually better. But this is still very nice and cool looking, and we're going to attach the armor in a minute. But just so you can see here, like I said, much lengthier and taller than Optimus here. As far as width as well, very big. And like I said, we'll just take his armor here. It's the same exact thing as the robot mode. So, just going to pop that back in the chest here. Just like so. And here's where it comes different. You have 2 tabs on the feet now. So instead of his shoulders, now you're going to put them right in these feet. And you can just slot them in here. If it'll let me slot it in. Little pieces of rubber, so they can be quite a pain to get to push in. I don't know why they just couldn't have made the tab solid plastic. But here he is with the Beast Hunter's armor attached. Now this doesn't look all too bad to me. I don't know what it is. I prefer the absolute Shockwave original look better. 100% without a doubt. So don't think I'm saying, oh man, this is so amazing or awesome, because it's not. It's kind of weird looking. But there's just something about it, like I said before, reminds me as if a symbiote has taken over Shockwave. Very cool looking, and I love how these are claws right here, because now it just gives that Beast Hunter look, and you get your original Shockwave look. And like I said, they just pop off very easily. And you can still have him in his regular Cybertronian tank mode. And of course, you can still do the gimmick up here with this. And just keep pushing it and have that work. And that's a powerful piece of plastic in there. because you can see it's really just getting a few seconds to light up. So it's really black, and then you open it, and the light just completely passes through it. Unbelievably. Very, very cool. One other thing I just want to complain about real quick is just this. They don't really lock in too securely because they're on those ratchet joints. Those are his knees, but they do stay in there. Like, I'm not going to spin him, and they're going to, detach from that. And he does roll very nice, but you're just going to get friction with his forearm down there, which that just kind of sucks. And I can't push his forearm anymore. Or actually, look at that, I could. Every time I did it before, his arm was popping off. But came out just a little bit. Well, look at that, now it's not touching. Alright, never mind, I take that back. Now we're not getting friction with that. And he can roll pretty good. He's not going to roll like a regular car would, with Bumblebee here. He just, that'll fly by us. Whereas this, he's just going to stop. He still has some friction in other places. Now to transfer him back, we're just going to come over here, detach his arm cannon, bring that over, bring these little spiky things down, bring this up and connect the chest, well, the back of the chest I should say. You want to rotate this and push that back, slide that up, bring this around like so, bring his chest up, slot that right in, straighten out the legs, forward, rotate the knee forward, bring the foot up, and here's where I said you got to be careful that you don't slide the foot off. This little gray piece here, you want to stop exactly right there. Do not go any further than the rest of that heel. And you can kind of twist it and turn it till you get to about right there. And you can see the whole foot will line up very nicely. Come over here, do the same exact thing. Just kind of twist it left and right until it lines up just right. There you go. Now you have his feet done. Straighten that all out. Then you want to come up here, untab his arm from back of him. Bring it around, down, just like so. Bring these little spikies down on the cannon. Spikies, alright, that's a new word for you, Mr. TF Prime. Close those two together. Bring the backpack here. Then you want to lift this one up, just so you can get the, I guess, it's ammunition cable out of there. Whatever the heck you want to call it. And you're going to see a little slot right here. Just take this. And you want to pop that right in there like so. Then you want to turn him around and rotate his head 180 degrees. And now he has Shockwave back in his robot mode. Now all in all, guys, this is a very fun figure. The second you see him in stores, you got to pick him up. He's very Shockwave looking. He's got excellent detail and plastic here on the chest. Nice detailing on the shoulders. The Beast Hunter armor isn't incredible. We already saw that coming from a while ago from photos and with smokescreen and such, but it's a nice touch. I do like it on him, but this is how I'm going to shelve him. I love that you can incorporate something from the tank mode to become a portion of his gun. That's really cool with his backpack there. Like I said, awesome light piping here in the face. That's something I do really love, and it's just, I don't know, people complain about this. I still like this a heck of a lot better than some crappy Powerizer gimmick and some other missile that's going to stick out here and I'm going to end up losing. So overall, guys, I give this guy a 9. He's absolutely awesome. He has some poor articulated foot, but you can pose him decently. Not incredibly, decently. Just turn those feet around, aim the gun, turn that. You can work with it. There's something you can do. It's not perfect, and his legs do look kind of funky like that, but it's definitely some kind of pose that you can get. And you can also just stand him up if you want, but then you're going to just have that awkward kind of angling with his feet there. But overall, definitely a figure I should say to pick up. Whoop, and that popped out. I guess I didn't put that in too securely. But yeah, guys, definitely a fun figure. Absolutely. If you see him in stores, pick him up. I got this guy at BigBadToyStore.com because it was cheaper for me to get him there rather than me drive around and spend gas money that I don't have and go from store to store hoping that eventually someone has him because a scalper didn't pick him up. So I would recommend going there. If not, you can find him probably at your Toys R Us. I personally don't know the rarity of this figure, but he's just very nice, and I don't understand why anyone would have any kind of issue or problem with this figure. But hey guys, if you liked the video, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below and let me know what you think of the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Voyager Shockwave. And let me know if you had any personal issues with yours as well. I would love to know. You can join me for more Transformers discussion at Facebook.com/MrTFPrime, or you can follow me on Twitter at MrTFPrime. Once again, stay tuned for more giveaways, and this is Mr. TF Prime, and I want to thank you for watching.